Hello and welcome to another edition of The Nation JENDELA. If you're just joining us for the first time, JENDELA is an initiative announced by Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin back in September 2020 to help drive the agenda of digitalizing the nation. Digital connectivity has become an imperative agenda that needs to be addressed as soon as possible if Malaysia wishes to keep up with a world that is rapidly pushing its digital transformation as it navigates through the ongoing pandemic crisis. Now, in the bid to strengthen Malaysia's digital roadmap, players within the industry have been the backbone to see this aspiration through. TM is one of the key drivers in the rollout plan to ensure JENDELA's success. And by the looks of the report cards last published in December 2020, they are well on track to achieve the lofty goals set. So today, we have the honour of speaking to Engineer Azizi A. Hadi, Chief Operating Officer of TM, on the topic of TM's broadband fiberisation initiatives. Hello, welcome to Engineer Azizi. Thanks for joining us here. How are you doing today?
Hello, Eileen. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Now, TM has been given quite a large task with regards to the Nation JENDELA plan. Perhaps you can give us a little bit of details with regards to TM's involvement in Plan Tindakan Jalinan Digital Negara or JENDELA. And we are midway already in February 2021. Where do we stand at this juncture? JENDELA was announced back in September 2020. How far have we come?
Last year, we were given a target of 220 home passes to do.
Right.
And we managed to deliver more.
Wow.
We delivered 300,000 last year.
Right.
And this year, we need to do another 840,000.
All right.
And we have all the ecosystem ready. We have the plan ready. We have started to implement. It's just a follow-through of what we're doing last year. And based on January number, it's looking good. Except February, a bit of challenges because of Chinese New Year.
Yes.
And so on. But we hope we'll recover the second part of February and continue to be on track to deliver the numbers for the remaining of the year.
Is that a large target, though, at this 800,000 for the year 2021 by sort of like historical standards? Is that achievable, or is that like, you know, a large, you know, people say you have to dream bigger?
Yeah. It's the stretch target.
Right.
Is about 30 to 40% higher than we normally do. But we have prepared ourselves.
Right.
We have prepared the ecosystem because to deliver fiberization fiber connectivity to the premises, be it household and also business premises, we have to prepare the materials.
Yeah.
We have to prepare the contractors.
Yeah.
We have to get approval, waiver, and so on.
Yeah.
So everything is in place.
Yep.
We just pray that we are not prohibited to go out and work, and we will deliver the number by end of the year.
Now, I want to look at, you know, the comparison between early when this pandemic hit back in February, March 2020, and now we're in like almost a year in February, March 2021. What are the learnings? What has changed with regards to, you know, being able to roll out this delivery? As I think we had a short conversation before this started, a lot of people were taken by surprise and weren't ready with any sort of plan in the initial stages. How has things changed in that time?
I think during the MCO 1.0,
yes.
We were not prepared. Nobody was prepared.
Yeah.
First, we were hit with supply of materials.
Yeah.
Because this pandemic started in China.
Yes, correct.
I think most of our supplies actually come from China.
And the entire world supply comes from China.
The materials were stuck
Right.
at the port.
Right.
So first, we didn't have enough materials.
Right.
Second, when the restriction imposed on us on March 18 last year, we didn't know what to do. We were struggling, and until I think about a month later, we were told, that telecommunication is part of the critical services.
Yes.
And we started to plan, and I still remember during that time, we didn't have enough supplies of masks.
Right, there was a global
sanitizer,
shortage, yes.
So it was fun. I mean, working in this type of condition,
right.
It helps us to think outside the box,
right.
and to find a solution.
Right.
We actually recovered 2 months after that. We started to roll out in areas what we call yellow and green last time.
Okay.
Then towards the end of the year, I mean, things back to normal, and we already have the momentum. The materials are already in place,
right.
contractors in place. So it's a matter of to continue with the momentum to roll out this network.
So essentially, we have learned from the initial hiccups and setbacks, prepared enough for us to be able to face this coming, because we are currently in MCO 2.0,
yes.
but yet, things are moving at a different pace at this point of time. And I will take a short breather in a short while, but when we come back, we want to talk about TM's broadband fiberisation initiatives in terms of how are we going to realize this aspiration when we come back.
Yep.
We'll take a short break right now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Muthu is a senior citizen living in the suburbs. At home, he spends a lot of time online connecting with his grandchildren who live in the city. When Muthu goes downstairs to get a recipe from his wife, the internet access is disrupted and his video call is cut off. Introducing JENDELA, a government initiative to improve Malaysia's communications infrastructure and broadband coverage. This move will reduce the digital divide and enable cities, suburbs and rural areas to receive better quality broadband services. JENDELA will be rolled out in phases and will involve the improvement, expansion and connectivity of high-speed coverage. This will ensure widespread coverage and connectivity nationwide. Malaysians will be able to access high-speed fixed and mobile broadband throughout the country. Additionally, all fibre service providers will continue to lend their support by upgrading their network capacity and deploying more base stations to meet the increase in 4G and 5G traffic. This will pave the way for future technology adoptions such as wireless and fixed wireless access and 5G to achieve the country's digital agenda. With JENDELA increasing the reach of fibre optic services, Muthu can upgrade his internet services and get the latest internet hardware such as mesh Wi-Fi. He will be able to surf the internet anywhere in his house without any service disruption. This digital transformation will raise the people's economic status and advance the country's socio-economic progress.
Hello and thanks for staying with us on The Nation JENDELA. You're still with me, Elaine Abdullah, and speaking to engineer Azizi Ehadi, Chief Operating Officer of TM. We were talking about TM's broadband fiberisation initiative. Now, Azizi, we watched some of the initiatives in terms of how JENDELA is going to sort of change the lives of Malaysians in general. Now, we always talk about the word digital divide, and I think a lot of people are aware that there seems to be sort of like a gap between if you're in the urban centre and in the rural sector. So how is TM, or what's TM's role in being able to sort of narrow that gap?
Well, it's a very interesting scenario when it comes to digital gap.
Right.
I think in TM what we do, first we want to make sure the digital connectivity or the fibre connectivity is available to as many as possible premises in Malaysia.
Correct.
So now we are working with the regulator MCMC to do it. We are not only rolling out fibre in urban areas, we also have suburban areas that we are rolling out this fibre. So first, connectivity. Then there must be content that comes with it, because in Telecom Malaysia we are serving three segments: the consumer, the business, enterprise, and also the government segment, also wholesale.
Yep.
We are working with various agencies, ministries, and also our business partners to ensure the content is available.
Right.
For example, for consumers to do online purchases. I mean, you need internet access. You need to work with the merchandisers, the retailers, and so on. And you also need to work with the delivery, companies.
The logistics, yes.
The logistic companies. So that is an example of, digital commerce.
Right.
Then we have education. We're also working with agencies to provide content, enterprise, and these are all our business ecosystem partners. Because we also believe that we are not able to do this alone.
Yes.
We need an ecosystem.
I think we learned this from being in the pandemic, that we're not alone. In order for us to be able to fight this, we have to protect each other, we have to work with each other in order for us to be able to succeed and move forward. Now, it's very interesting for me to see that we are pushing towards the fiberization of the entire nation, not just in the urban center. Even in the urban center, we see the gaps from being in sort of like, if you're in a business area, in a business district area versus being in residential area. That's why we saw such a fallout when people started working from home, and that we're unable to go online, stay online, and be able to stay connected. So this seems like a huge task. How realistic is this for us to be able to have that kind of 5G network, immediate connectivity, and in what kind of time frame?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we are rolling out a fiber network. This fiber network has multi-purpose. One, actually, to connect the premises.
Yes.
We're also connecting premises in Universal Service Provision areas, USB areas. These are areas that have been categorized by MCMC to be underserved.
Right.
We're also rolling out fiber, actually, for backhaul to enable the 4G sites to be connected with high capacity connectivity. And this backhaul connectivity can later also be used by the 5G service providers when the time comes.
Right.
So we know that to have good quality, good experience with high speed and low latency of 5G service, you require fiber connectivity.
Right.
So we are doing this with multiple objectives to ensure that the current needs for the household and businesses are met. We're also preparing for the 5G service providers in case if TM also to get to do 5G. We are ready with this connectivity.
Now, what are the challenges that you face in being able to roll this out? I'm sure there are lots of obstacles along the way. It's not just, walk in the park, snap your finger and then immediately, like a magic wand, we're going to be fiberized.
Well, we need help to do this.
Right.
First, to roll out fiber, we need approval in terms of waylift and permit from local councils.
Yes.
Then once we are at the doorstep of, say, high-rise building, we need agreement from the GMBs or the building managers to allow us to come in and connect the building with fiber.
Right.
Suppliers, contractors, we need to manage them. This is part of our ecosystem. When they go out, they're actually representing Telecom Malaysia. So they need to behave like Telecom Malaysia.
Right.
So from time to time, we do have challenges, we do have complaints and so on, and we are managing this along the way.
And because when we last spoke to Chairman MCMC, they have informed that they are trying to assist with this implementation rollout. We're speaking to the necessary states in order for them to come on board and to understand the larger agenda in order for us to be able to achieve this objective. And also in terms of making it a third utility, do you think that this is going to be able to assist in creating that acceleration?
I think this is long overdue because most developers, building managers, they take connectivity or telecommunication facilities for granted.
Right.
It's always after effect.
Yes.
Once they completed the building, the development, they start thinking about the telecommunication requirement.
Correct.
So when telecommunication becomes the third utility, this has to be done, planned upfront.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But wouldn't that also increase that cost of that whole process of planning?
I would say will be lower.
Right.
Because it's pre-planned.
Pre-planned, right.
Rather than after effect.
Then the post.
Yes.
Right, okay. So essentially creating this opportunity or creating this platform or policy as a third utility actually will lower that initial outlay cost.
Yeah. In fact, today MCMC is helping. They have their offices in every state. We started, Telecom Malaysia started to go out and see the building managers and so on with MCMC officers to convince them the benefit of having fibre access to the building, fibre access to their development and so on. This morning also we discussed about MCMC going together with the industry players to see the local council to get the permitting, the way live approval together. That helps actually to shorten the process. So we can shorten the whole. Most of the time, actually permitting time is
the one that takes the longest.
Yeah, it's variable.
And at the end of the day, as consumers, what we want is just the end goal, but we don't see all the challenges and all the time that is required in order for us to make this happen. Now, we'll take another short breather. When we come back, let's talk about getting 5G ready and what it takes. All right?
Sure.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Yati is a housewife in Kuala Lumpur. Having lived here for a long time, she misses her mother's nasi kuning. Can Yati use the latest smartphone and fast internet access to call her mother, who is in a remote area in Sabah? Introducing JENDELA, a government initiative to improve Malaysia's communications infrastructure and broadband coverage. This move will reduce the digital divide and enable cities, suburbs, and rural areas to receive better quality broadband services. JENDELA will be rolled out in phases. The 3G network will be gradually terminated as the 4G network is expanded to give Malaysians access to high-speed mobile lines throughout the country. Additionally, all fibre service providers will continue to lend their support by upgrading their network capacity and deploying more base stations to meet the increase in 4G and 5G traffic. This will pave the way for future technology adoptions such as wireless and fixed wireless access, VoLTE, and 5G to achieve the country's digital agenda. Thanks to improved infrastructure through JENDELA and by upgrading to a 4G smartphone, Yati is able to speak to her mother without any interruption. This digital transformation will raise the people's economic status and advance the country's socio-economic progress.
Hello, thanks for staying with us here on The Nation JENDELA. We're speaking to, of course, Chief Operating Officer of TM, our engineer Azizi Ehadi, about TM's broadband fiberisation initiative in the face of JENDELA. Azizi, we had a bit of a chat with regards to JENDELA, with regards to TM's fiberisation initiatives and achievements back in 2020. We are already in the second month of 2021. Time flies. Yes. We're almost a year in after the COVID-19 pandemic has been made sort of like it's a worldwide phenomenon, and we've learned some lessons from the past, and now we are on track to be able to create this or close this digital divide. So the next question I want to ask is, in terms of looking to reduce the digital divide, 5G is part of the plans in terms of for most telcos. So what are the required technologies as we work towards reducing this digital gap and getting ready for 5G?
Well, before I move into 5G discussion, I think another important element to deliver this fiberization actually the people, warga TM, and also the contractors that working with us, their dedication. We are all prepared in Telecom Malaysia. We have the skill set, we have the knowledge to do it. And I think with all these people that we have, the warga TM, we can go beyond fiberisation. We can moving into 5G and so on, given the opportunity. But to looking at the technology, I think fiber is for fixed line. Today we have 4G for the mobile and wireless. Moving on, we'll have 5G. 5G will offer better bandwidth, better latency, and so on. But we are actually preparing Telecom Malaysia, as I mentioned earlier, preparing the backhaul, the transmission part of the 5G. At the same time, we have other technologies like data center for cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud services for B2B and so on. So we at Telecom Malaysia, we have a complete ecosystem for the user at home, for the SMEs, for large enterprise, for government segment, and also for the service provider that requires backhaul from us to roll out 5G and so on. So we are prepared. We have the people to do it, Alhamdulillah, and we are ready actually to do this as soon as we get the clearance or the approval or the green light from MCMC.
The demand is high with regards to the requirement for connectivity. It has become the lifeline. I mean, it's as simple as the moment the internet goes down, we can't do anything anymore. We can't do our work, we can't create that conversations, we aren't able to move forward. It is an imperative. It is the lifeline, it is blood nowadays. Now, with our country back in under MCO 2.0 started in January, and most of us working from home again, of course, the demand for internet escalates again. How do you see the internet usage trend amongst Malaysians at this point?
Well, during the first MCO, we saw 50% surge in terms of traffic, internet traffic. MCO 2.0, we're only seeing about 15% on the top of MCO 1.0.
What does that say? What do those numbers tell you?
It says that a lot more people are relying and using internet at home, not only to work, but to learn.
Yes.
We have children, university students,
correct,
attending classes at home. And since we can't go to cinema anymore, people spend time watch movies at home for entertainment and so on.
And especially during festive seasons when you can't visit, it's also become that opportunity for us to be able to connect with family.
But we have facilities available to monitor this usage, from application to the layers of network. So what we do, actually, we monitor in areas where we need to upgrade the capacity, we'll do an upgrade capacity. But we also observe there are issues at home. For example, the number of devices at home on average had increased from 4.5 devices to about 7 devices at home. The usage also had increased double in terms of data usage.
It essentially means it's high time for us to be able to upgrade our infrastructure to keep up with our demand for it. We've run out of time. Thank you so much, Encik Azizi, for sharing your thoughts with us.
I also would like to thank our customers for trusting us and for loyal to us, Telecom Malaysia.
Thank you so much, TM, and to Warga TM for continuing your service and being part of the frontline infrastructure as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, we were, of course, speaking to Engineer Azizi Hadi, Chief Operating Officer of TM, on the topic of TM's broadband fiberisation initiatives. Of course, the 21 billion ringgit National Digital Infrastructure Plan, or Jalinan Digital Negara JENDELA, was designed to steer Malaysia towards greater digital connectivity by boosting the efficiency of the national infrastructure, and optimizing spectrum usage. So as we acclimatize to the new way forward, last year's emerging trends such as work from home are now normal as we regularly manage disruptions brought on by the pandemic as well as movement restrictions. Catapulting household demand for internet services will continue to grow, and we are on our way to close that digital divide. Thanks for staying with us till the end of this edition. You've been watching The Nation Jendela with me, Elaine Norbla. Stay safe and stay locked on to BERNAMA TV.
This is the boy who wanted a nasi lemak, who ordered from this app that pinged makcik to cook and her husband to sell, that paid for his son's education, that uses the telecommunications network that connects to the data center to power the app that watered the farm, that created jobs for them, including the makcik who prepared her packets for the boy who wanted a nasi lemak. Digital Malaysia keeps us connected.